Double duty. If I can't do it, homie, it can't be done. I'ma let the champagne bottle pop. I'ma take it to the top. Show I'ma make it hot, baby. I don't think I downloaded it. I guess I did. Peace to the family. Pre-orders are available. It will be sent out. I don't know how long this video is gonna last, but I'm holding the camera and feeding the baby with the other hand. And today I want to talk about the power of why, deal with this moon, and also deal with this sun. So the sun is in Aquarius. So we ultimately rooted in the concept of fear versus love. Okay? So generally, when it boils down to what it boils down to, do you fear this situation or do you love this situation? So the power of why, you root your whys down to either love or fear. And if you in the frequency of fear, then that's the energy that you got to change, and you got to move it more towards the energy of love. Because these days have been really, really crazy. So I hope that we're able to stay centered in our spiritual beingness. It's very interesting when you think about manifestation and meditation and bringing things into existence. And it might seem like a difficult process for some and an easier process for others. The purpose of this conversation, the why of this conversation, is to bring ease into your manifestation, as well as your meditation, as well as your late night vibration. Now, tonight, I'll throw a couple of things out there in the power of fasting or cleansing. If you don't cleanse once a week, you in a danger zone. It's very important to clear, because when you reference your spiritual beingness, it's a result of not being human in any aspect, whether your emotions, your thoughts, your beingness, any type of concept that you have to understand your higher self is in control. So from this level, you have the Seven of Wands, right? Because the moon is in the third decan of Sidereal Leo. So it hasn't reached Virgo yet. It will reach Virgo until tomorrow, and we'll discuss some of those aspects. But in reference to this Leo moon, I want to deal with this Seven of Wands. So the Seven of Wands shows a man with two different shoes on. So he got two different shoes on. He got some low top Air Force Ones and some high top Air Force Ones. And he's at an elevated position, but he's in a defensive position, and he's fighting against the energies below. So at first glance, it might seem like people is hating on this dude, but from an esoteric position, this is your higher self, and this is your actual disposition in reference to the world once you've activated your queen energy, your healing energy. So from your higher self, you then are now looking down at the world. And ultimately, the moon travels into Virgo, so the energy shifts very much. So all of this tumultuous, divisive, misunderstanding, miscommunication, lower vibration is a reflection of where the direction is of your lookers, right? You're looking down and you're fighting energy beneath you. And so the obvious way to look at it is to, once again, understand that you're in an elevated position. understand that you're in a higher position. Understand that you've went through a queen moon transformation, and it's now to elevate and focus in on your goddess energy. And so the perpetual vibratory frequency is love, and ultimately figuring out your why. When you look at other people's lives, you are doing yourself a discredit and a disservice. It's very important to keep your energy focused and centered in on your why as we go through Virgo, as we go through Libra, Scorpio, so forth and so on throughout the week. Because generally, you should be in a space where you have elevated beyond these people is hating on me. I got people going against me. But generally, people might be looking at you if you are in your elevated position. Now, we can look at it two ways. Do you want to look at the opposing energy or the lower energy as in fear? Like, they gonna overtake your higher self, or they gonna overtake your life when you actually built and worked up to this energy, right? You worked on something, you built something up, you gradually developed the inner peace and raised your vibration, right? So the natural response, which nobody talks about, is lower energy and people on lower frequencies, and they might be shooting up at you. They might be coming at the queen, right? They want to overthrow the queen. They want to take over your empire, right? And this could be a lot of times when you are in this frequency of the Seven of Wands. I think the beauty of it is that you don't know that you're in an elevated position. So the reflection ultimately is, I am my higher self. The conversation that me and my wife was having earlier. How hard is it for you to have a right hand? You say, my right hand is right here. You know what I'm saying? It's very easy to have a right hand. So generally, how hard is it to develop your higher self? Very easy. It's a part of you. But with the Seven of Wands, I feel it as a perspective, and it's much different from any other third decan in reference to, let's say, the third decan of Scorpio, where it's very much tumultuous. The third decan of Aquarius, very tumultuous. The third decan of Taurus, very tumultuous. So what we have then is a fixed sign that is going into a place of mutability. So generally, our ideas, thoughts, and beliefs represent fixed ideas. But the reality of the world is that all of life changes. So what am I referencing? Night always turns into day. Spring always turns into summer. Summer always turns into fall. Fall always turns into winter. It's very natural. But when you reference your ideals and what you expect out of life, you generally don't ever change those things. You stay fixed in these beliefs. Now, you can take initial ideas such as being a queen, such as being a higher self, such as being meditative and a high level manifester, and bring it into mutable energy such as Virgo. And how do we do that? Is we make these ideas real. Now, what's the difficult part about making your higher self and energy real is how much you fixate on the fact of looking down, right? How much do you have to fight? How hard do you have to work? How much effort do you have to put into manifestation? And this is the effort that you extend, not in the right way, because ultimately what you focus on during this day, you will perpetuate through the week based upon Virgo's placements. Yeah, if you don't mind. 1 second. Little switcheroo dippy doo. Jesse Olesi, what's up? So, give me 1 second. So in esoteric, I'm going to break it down into more esoteric magic in reference to the moon, in reference to a sun in Aquarius. So I'm going to give it to you in detailed, straight, easy to understand language so you can understand how to move forward with the week in reference to the astrological positions. Now, the moon or the moon day is going to be the perpetual vibration. So we want to understand the energies of the first decan of Virgo in reference to our moon. And to bring it into regular language is, what do you want to do every day? Now, it's a trick to it because the moon sits in the third decan of Leo, which reference the hind leg of Leo, right? So generally, it's the kickstart of the week, but ultimately, to bring that into perspective, you can focus on either your position or you can focus on people who are not in your position. And when you bring that into the 8 of disc or the first decan of Virgo, that's going to be your everyday mentality. However, what I said was, or what I hope for, is that you focus solely on your spiritual position. The same way you have a left hand, a right hand, a left leg, a right foot, you have a higher self. So that position, you fixate on it and you hold on to it as you move through the 8 of disc, the 9 of disc, and then the 10 of disc. We're going to come back and we're going to deal with the moon in Libra because I feel like it's going to be a powerful square, right? When the moon squares the sun, okay, the moon will square the sun in our house and relationships, in our house's social standings. So mentally, certain ideas and vibrations and frequencies centered on business will be coming into alignment or coming into disalignment. But I feel as though we want to make this process as simple as possible, as easy as possible. So you want to just center on why you are doing something. Now, we could get into many different reflections and variations on the theme of why. I want to simplify it because the sun is in Aquarius, sidereal Aquarius. So ultimately, that deals with your electromagnetic frequency. Your electromagnetic frequency in Aquarius deals a lot with your limbic brain, okay? Your limbic brain does not respond to what? It does not respond to words. That is why when you write in your manifestations, I want a relationship, I want a car, I want money, and you don't manifest it and you don't get it. You got the vision board of everywhere else everybody else has been, but you don't have a vision board in relation to what you actually see and what you actually want. So what's more powerful, taking a car on a test drive or looking at a car in a magazine? Obviously, taking a car on a test drive. What do people not do? Take a car on a test drive. You want to manifest a new house. What's the more important thing? Getting on Zillow, looking at apartments, or going to open houses? Calling up landlords and just going on house runs, right? That don't cost you nothing. Test drive don't cost you nothing. So when you in the real ways of manifesting and bringing things into existence, you have to really focus on the why. Now, the why thus brings about an action, ultimately, and that is the moon in Virgo. However, your why based upon beef or your why based upon bringing love together, like, I want to create a positive situation, but I don't know how to do that. right? We don't know how to do that. Why? Because we can't control other people at the end of the day. We can only focus and build up our magnetism. So the moon through Virgo, the moon through Libra, we want to be prepared for the moon in Scorpio. But what's going to happen starts now. Like, it might sound so hard and difficult through this week, right? Because you're focused on your fight. You're focusing on your lower self and all of these particular things. I do not have a solution for you. I'm just going to tell you what it's going to look like. However, if you focus on your position, you understood this Queen Moon energy. You've come into the realization that you have psychic gifts that are related to your higher self. And not only do you have this talent or ability, you begin to work on it every day. You begin to work on it every day. You perpetuate this energy. You build this energy. And then it goes into Libra. You find balance with your psychic gifts. You're not trying to save the fucking world in a matter of 3 days. We're talking about building an acquaintance and building your electromagnetic frequency centered on love. Or you can center it on fear. And I don't know the stories in relation to that. I'm not going there. I'm a expand and I'm a grow my electromagnetic frequency centered on love, and always ask myself why. Right? When I was journaling last night and working in my manifestation book, Manipulating the Matrix, it was getting to a point where I was finding the difficulty in journaling, but then I got into the concept of the power of why. And I listened to various videos on this concept, and then it just clicked. And I said, okay, our limbic brain does not respond to what? So an example of this would be, you want to buy a computer. That's a what? Now, what's the most important things in determining what computer you buy? Why you're buying it. I personally do a lot of things on YouTube. I type a lot of papers. So I need a specific amount of RAM and DDR, SSD, and things of that nature for my RAM. I need to figure that out because I'm doing my live stream and I can't have it be buffering and things like that. So ultimately, the way to market to a person like me is this computer is perfect for YouTube streamers, right? If you market that to me, I'm going to buy that computer as soon as possible, especially if it's in my price range. Because that's exactly the computer that I need. And if you tell me that it's for streamers, I'm not even going to look at the specifications. If it's in my price range, I'm going to fucking buy it. So ultimately, y'all all do readings, y'all all do healings, y'all all got businesses, y'all all on IG selling something, all on Shopify selling something, all on Setmore, all over the internet selling stuff, and it's getting difficult for you to get your point across. Do you know why? Because you don't know why, okay? If you knew why a person might buy an iPhone over an Android, then you will understand its marketing capabilities and its overall spread. And then understanding like why you are putting out content, why you are writing your books, why you are in your relationships. These are powerful concepts and questions that the reason why I talk the way I talk and carry myself the way I carry myself, because I know exactly why I'm in a relationship with my wife. I know exactly why I'm writing this book. I know exactly why I'm in this present moment. I know exactly why I'm doing this video, to bring about some sort of enlightenment within your overall weekly process. So, and understanding the Seven of Wands is a lesson on this. My man's got, hold on, we'll show my man's. He got on two different shoes. He got on the low top forces and he got on the high top forces. He doesn't know his position in his life. So therefore, since he doesn't know his position, he has the advantage. But he's attacking. And he has the advantage, but he's defending people's attacks. He has the advantage, but he is defending people's attacks. So when you have the advantage, you could, if a person is attacking you and you have the advantage, you just pew, 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 they ass up out of existence. Since they want to go against the queen, that's why people have armies. That's why you have ancestors. So you hold your position and you live your life in this elevated existence, because there are still things that you're trying to get to. Even though you're at an advantageous position, there are still inner reflections. And so when we deal with the 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th houses for a moon cycle, we're dealing with the inner relationship. Once we get to the queen king status, then all we need to do is focus on our relationships and build our relationships and do the alchemy within our relationships. Because when you have a king and queen disposition and y'all both have the same why, when we both know why we are in this relationship, when we both know why we are in this business, when we both know why we are on this team. Me and my wife was talking about this, and I'm going to share this analogy with y'all. It's 28 teams, 30 teams in the NBA. The team that's going to win the championship is the team from the top to bottom. Owner, general manager, down to the water boy have the same why. We are here to win a fucking championship. Now, it's going to be teams with players that don't give a fuck about winning the championship. They want to get that contract, and once the season over, they trying to go to a beach with a hottie patati a thotty off Instagram. And they doing all of this basketball, dunking, passing the ball, playing defense just to go to Tahiti in the off season. They don't give a damn if they gonna win a championship. That's why your ass will get traded and cut off the team. Those who have ears have ears. Those who have eyes can see. When you get with a team, when you get within a partnership, it is your fucking, it's a necessity to determine the why of the union in the relationship in order to find a direction. Because it's coaches on the team that want to go to the championship, right? There's players on the team that want to go to the championship. But if the owner is thinking, well, shit, I can leverage this team for draft picks because I heard such and such is going to be a free agent next year. So let's do something, that's what in the NBA they call it tanking. Where the owners say, we ain't winning this year. And the players the coaches like, man, what the fuck? We trying to win the championship. But the owner's why is different from the players and the coaches' why. And that's when the coaches say, man, I'm going to resign. The players like, man, I want to get traded. The general manager and the owner, they don't want to win here. And I want to win. This is my 15th year. I'm trying to win the championship. I ain't never won one. I'm trying to make it to the fucking Hall of Fame. Y'all wasting my career. And that's why them dudes be mad. Because they don't leverage their actual NBA career into shit depending on not having a particular why. So ultimately, you could be the best basketball player in the world, get drafted to the most shittiest organization, and your career ain't worth shit. Meaning that your why has to be very clear from the get-go. If you want to win championships, then ultimately you have to stay in that particular alignment. If you want to get checks and just make your money, you got to stay in that alignment. Wherever your why is, you'll find your actual tribe. But I'm challenging you throughout the week to not focus on what. Because the what is something that you've seen somebody else accomplish that you think is desirable for you. But when you get that particular what, you don't actually get the same experience because you're not focused in on your why. So many people already have the things that they actually wanted, but they're still in a position where they want more things because their why is not in actual, it's not in focus, you know? So ultimately, when you have the heart to love, or you have the heart to share, and you have the heart to experience, but you're not actually in that space, in that why, in that actual environment where you can fully live out your fucking why, you're not going to be happy. You're going to fixate on the what. I got a job. I got a this. I got a that. But what you'll realize is that when you deal with your biological needs in reference to what they call coronavirus and things of that nature, that shit was all mishmashed and torn apart. Where motherfuckers was going back home to live with their goddamn mama because that's what was necessary. Because we thought we was grown and hot to trot and had it all figured out because society was moving at a particular pace. And then when shit switched up, hopefully we came to realize that we don't really know shit. The what is going to have us fucked up. The why is going to allow us to elevate and go into a place of alchemy. And I cannot wait when the moon transits into Libra, when we talk about the square and we get prepared for this moon in Scorpio and so forth and so on. Because we're in the actual magical moment of higher self ancestral blending. I know y'all was watching that full moon and y'all seen that haze around that mug, right? That haze is ancestors galore, okay? That haze is a lot of spiritual energy being radiated and shot down on the planet. And if you fixate it on what, you're not into your magic. You can say, I want this. I want this. I told my ancestors I want a relationship and I still don't got one. Hood, I was watching a video and you said that there was a lot of spiritual energy coming down on the planet. So why ain't I getting what I want? And I would say you're not focused on why you want it. Because if you focus on why you want it, what you want is already here. It's already here in abundance. So with that being said, man, tune in, tap in. I'm more or less in the editing phases of the book. I'm about to work on some of these calls that I got today and generally just stay forward and stay positive and focus on my why and build my relationships as such. And I hope you guys enjoy your day, enjoy your family, enjoy your why. Flesh out your why in your journals as we go through this full moon week and move into our last quarter moon, because we're dealing with the waning moon. So it's time to get rid of shit. Don't worry about acquisition things, gaining things, growing things, making things happen. Get rid of all of the toxins in your body. Give your liver a rest, right? Release your liver, release your digestive system, relax your mind. Your mind is not in your brain. Your mind is in your stomach, your gut feeling. Your feeling then attaches to your limbic system. When you tell your brain or your mind that this is what I want to feel, why I want to feel it, it then now is responsive. Also, last point, moon goes into Virgo, which is the physical representation of your inner child. So the relationships that are building, your most prosperous relationships, your most deepest connections fall deeply into your inner child work. And what we know about our inner child, that we were actually playing together. Our spirits were playing together and our physical bodies were in two separate places. But our imaginary friends are real people, right? We used to kick it when we were kids, and generally they had names and things of that nature. What is happening now is that you might get a connection during this week in relation to your imaginary friend. So if somebody just give you some money, somebody give you an opportunity, you start to build with a person throughout this week, understand that that's an aspect. And you got, depending on your personality, you got multiple imaginary friends. And there's no limit to how many imaginary friends you can have. But be open to the space of Virgo moon ruled by Mercury, bringing about that inner child, higher self vibration. You don't have nobody to fight. You don't have nobody to defeat. You only have to hold your position. You have an advantage from knowing that you are a physical being, but you have a spiritual, higher self, soul energy that perpetuates and dictates all life. One more thing before I hop off this live: primordial reality creation. Creating your reality before reality starts to set in. So if you want to work with this Virgo moon and this Libra moon in specific magic meditative aspects, waking up 3 to 5, 6, 7 o'clock in the morning. Some of y'all be waking up naturally, automatically. Well, your higher self is telling you, bitch, nigga, wake up. It's time to get into this witching hour shit. So your mind state and your mentality, whether you lighting candles, burning herbs, doing rituals, getting outside, fucking having sex with the moon, you feel me? Just being up, active, and aware, doing magical ritual work is going to keep your week extremely powerful and extremely lit. But don't do no shit. I mean, you could do shit in the daytime, but in the meantime, in the between time, if spirit wake your ass up in the middle of the night, oh baby, it's time to go to work. It's time to tap into your magic. And if you like, well, how do I get into magic? Focus on what you want, why you want it, right? If you could get into a space of what you want, get into the details and the specifics of why you want it. And as you stay with that, if you stay with that frequency, you then perpetuate real physical manifestations. The next time we deal with physical manifestation will be the moon in Capricorn. And that's a long, arduous, spiritual, mental, emotional, spiritual toll. But ultimately, we're doing the great work by holding our position and allowing the energy to fall down and trickle down into our Malkuth or our physical relationship. So what we're doing is combining Kabbalistic principles in relation to astrology, in relation to tarot, because all things are one and the same. And hopefully that resonates with you and you're allowed to move forward in the space of taking advantage of your advantage. You are a spiritual being having a human experience. Don't forget it. Peace.